Hello, this is the second video in the series about the Workflow tab in Windshuttle Composer, and this video is about loops in the workflow. So rather than having a loop system like Designer had, there is once again a UI for this here in Composer, which we can find right here in Loop Block. So once we enter this, it opens up a loop wizard, which allows us to choose the type of loop that we want. So an empty loop will create another graph, which is just an empty loop that you can configure however you want. However, there are default types, which are sequential and parallel, each of which I will create to demonstrate. So let's take a look at sequential approval really quickly, and we can name this one sequential. It is required that we choose at least one approver swim lane. So here we can choose both manager and process owner, and also that we choose a rejection swim lane to which it'll return if it's whatever task or anything is rejected by any of the approvers. So if we create this, we can see that right here is created our sequential loop. So we have a starting point where whatever activity you have begins, and it goes directly to the manager, from where if it's rejected, it returns to the originator, where it can be looped back with any sort of edits or whatever. But if it's approved, it goes on to the process owner, from where, once again, rejection results in return to the originator, but approval also brings the process to an end. So if we go back to our main workflow, let's take a look at parallel loops. So once again, we can use the loop wizard, create a parallel loop, name this one parallel. Select the same approvers, so manager and process owner, and the same rejection swim lane. And right there we have it. So this time, instead of having a sequential approval from the manager to the process owner, whatever activity from the originator goes both to the manager and the process owner at the same time. Rejection, once again, brings the activity back to the originator, but to bring it to an end at this point rather than end through rejection, approval from both the manager and the process owner is required. So if we go back to the main workflow tab, we can take a look at these conditions that we've named for the end of the loop by clicking right here. So for the sequential loop, of course, we saw that the only approval that's needed to finish off the loop is the approval from the process owner, as this is dependent on approval from the manager. However, if we look at the condition for the parallel loops, we can see that approval is needed from both the manager and the process owner, as it is a parallel loop. All right. So that's it for loops in Windshuttle Composer's Workflow Designer. The next video in this series about the Workflow tab will discuss context menus. Thank you.